What's up, everybody, and welcome to Iconic Insights. This is a new show I'm doing on the YouTube channel where I pull a really key knowledge bomb, a super interesting insight from a longer video. We discuss it and really help it to sink in so that you can integrate it and apply it in your music production workflow and in your creative life as an artist. Over the many years I've been running this channel, I've shot tons of very long-form interviews, deep dive technical pieces. It's easy to gloss over something really important when you're watching a 90-minute or 45-minute video, right? So throughout one of these pieces, I might have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 really interesting nuggets of information, and I'm going to be drawing from that and bringing them into one single topic at a time, really helping it to sink in. Also, in the universe of YouTube, there are so many other influencers, thought leaders, really incredible, forward-thinking people with their own channels, and I watch and consume a lot of other people's content and learn a ton from it as well. So in my journeys throughout YouTube, I will also be, where I see key insights, be pulling these little pieces from other people's videos, and again, just helping us all learn together as a community. I hope you really enjoy this show. You'll see it publishing on the regular on this channel. Let's kick off this first episode. In this video, I want to talk about loudness, dynamics, and the concept of containment or density in music and how that can vary genre by genre. So I'm going to play a clip for you from my first Industry Icons episode with double Grammy-nominated engineer Ryan Schwabe and the creator of Gold Clip and Orange Clip. Let's just have a listen to that video clip. Because a big focus for me in the YouTube channel over the next year is going to be talking about how to engineer music in a way that it can be clean and high fidelity and punchy, while also achieving loudness if you're in those types of genres where you want that really contained sound, and I am. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that contained sound is a good way to explain it, because I often get people saying like, oh, I read like you should mix your music to like 14 loops. Why is this so loud? And I'm just like, that's a target playback volume for Spotify. It's not a mastering target volume for what's genre appropriate for that style of music.
Okay, so let's pause there. What he said is that there's the Spotify playback target of -14 LUFS, what it will normalize your music's loudness to, right? So he made a very important distinction there, which is that is a playback target. It is not a mastering target, okay? That is what Spotify does or other DSPs do to be able to create a consistent playback experience, but it is not direction for what you should be mastering to, okay?
And for like rock records, not just electronic music, like rock records, electronic, anything that's like aggressive in nature, that containment is fundamental to the sound of what is appropriate. And so, that's kind of how I describe it as well, like the containment or like the cohesion of it. And it all comes from that final part of the process, that post-production process.
So here is tidbit number 2. He said that for aggressive genres, electronic music, and also other genres like rock that are very, they're high energy, he said that type of containment is fundamental to the sound, okay? So I've had a lot of people try and argue on the YouTube channel when I talk about loudness and how to achieve clean loudness for electronic music production. They've said that, when you're taking down dynamic range, that you're destroying the music, and that somehow more dynamics is always better, and that you have to have a certain amount of dynamic range in order to have music sound good, and that as soon as you start limiting or clipping or compressing music, that you're somehow degrading the fidelity of the music. Okay, so there is somebody who has said it really well, better than myself, that it's actually the byproducts of the gain reduction are fundamental to the sound of genres like electronic music. So now I'm going to bring in a different clip, and this is from Justin Coletti. He runs Sonic Scoop, and he did a great, very long video. But one of the topics that he discusses it ties into exactly what we're saying here.
Hey man, we have to make sure our CD is louder than the next CD.
So what he's talking about there is the beginnings of the loudness wars, right? So he's talking about the prevalence of CDs and how that kind of kicked things off. But now he's going to talk about exactly what Ryan was talking about, which is how these skill sets and techniques that evolved out of the loudness wars created a particular sound that then became fundamental to particular genres.
And a whole entire skill set of smashing things, making them as loud as possible, just so they could get louder than other things, ended up coloring the sound, right? And the sounds that people got from loudness ended up being part of the aesthetic of certain genres. And if things weren't smashed with limiters or compressed heavily, it kind of sounded wrong. And then there were other genres that didn't respond well to this kind of loudness.
There, I'm going to reiterate it because I really want this point to sink in, that if there wasn't that level of containment or density, which occurs from things like compression, limiting, saturation, clipping, anything that is going to restrict dynamic range, that it just didn't sound right. Okay? And that is true. Now, on the other flip side of that coin, in the field of electronic music specifically, there are a lot of people and subgenres that are pushing loudness to the point where just objectively, I think it sounds rubbish. There's doing what you need to do to create that sense of cohesion, containment, and density where it sounds good. And then you get to a tipping point where it actually begins, in honest, to degrade the music. It's no longer just this sound. It's being pushed beyond what is necessary to achieve that sound. And then it sounds rubbish. Okay. So when you hear things that are pushed up to like -2 LUFS, -4 LUFS, and into that range, it's not necessary to do that to create that sense of density. And you're just going beyond. And in that case, I think many of those, I've really never personally heard a song in that loudness range that I didn't find horribly fatiguing, and didn't just sound like a hot turd to me. Anytime things go into that loudness range, I feel like there's a whole host of really terrible sacrifices that are being made. And when you normalize those down a little bit versus a song that is mastered still hella loud, but is in that range of containment, I think that the ones that are pressed super loud, -2, -4, end up sounding weak and thin and don't have bass and don't have any impact to the drums. So there is a continuum there, and there is a sweet spot, like with almost anything in audio. Right on. Thanks for checking out this video. This is a new format for me, so please, if you liked it, give the video a thumbs up. Drop me some comments down below. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know what your thoughts are around this. And if you are able to, please support me in making more videos by using the links below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.